I made 10 different offers that did anything from $10,000 on the smaller end to over $100,000 on the high end, and everything in between, like 20, 30, $50,000. And what's interesting is that I also did it with a lot of different offers, everything from like courses over to coaching, over to affiliate products, JVs, and I learned a thing or two about how to create offers that sell. And in this video, I want to share with you 5 things that all of these offers had in common so that you can apply them to your own offers and make more money. So with that said, let's start with lesson number 1, which is know the person, problem, and outcome. And what this simply means is that a lot of people are pretty vague. They're not aware of it, which is a tricky part. But a lot of people are pretty vague when you ask them, what problem does your offer solve? What's the main outcome it helps these people achieve, and who does it best serve? Meaning, who would have the easiest, most effortless, fastest success with your offer? There is the smallest gap they need to cross to have success. And a lot of people just create offers because they think it's cool or because something came across their mind, like they're more on the creative side where they're like, oh, that would be cool. But the problem is, unless and until you see it in the market, I actually have a really great litmus test for this. Like, you need to be able to point almost physically, but online, where these people are, like what are the communities they join, who are the gurus they follow, what are the products and services they buy, right? So there is this group of people, this niche that you want to target. Once you have, that's the first step, then see what problem people in this market, in this niche, actually have, common problem that you can solve, right? And then what is the main outcome you help these people achieve? And once you have these things, it's much, much easier to sell anything. I would turn products and services that other people cannot sell and make it into a winning offer just because I understood these things. And every successful offer I have created had these things in common, meaning I had this group of people in mind, I knew what problems they had, I knew how I can solve these problems, and I communicated that clearly with them. And that's how I make at least 5 figures, usually multiple 5 figures, with each offer that I create. By the way, every week I'm releasing 1 to 2 new videos here on YouTube, sharing my best tips and practices and strategies on how you can monetize your following, get more high-ticket clients, and make more money in general. So if you're interested in this kind of like entrepreneurship, marketing, sales stuff, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and if you like this video so far, make sure to like it so you help the algo gods so that more people can see this and benefit. And I want to thank you for watching. Lesson number 2 is sell before you build. Now, lesson number 2 is kind of like counterintuitive. I still feel like a lot of people don't do this, and it's costing them a lot, and not just money. And what this means is exactly as it, before I even create the offer, I try to sell it. If there is not enough demand, and if I cannot validate the interest, I'm not going to create it. A lot of people, I think, fall prey to, again, similar to the first type that we mentioned, they have this, they think, great idea, and maybe it's a good idea, but doesn't mean people are ready to pay for it. Or in some cases, maybe they would pay for this product, but you still don't know how to communicate the value and get them to buy. So that's usually what I try to do first. I first go and try to pitch the product. It doesn't need to be like this big launch or whatever, but I try to get people interested. First, I test interest even before they pay. If there is no interest, I'm not gonna do it. Then number 2, I actually get them to pay before I build anything. This is how I launched my very first coaching, sold out the first round. I was opening 7 spots at $1,000 a pop for 6 weeks with me, and this was back in 2020, nearly 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago. And I sold it out before I created anything, right? I didn't even know if people wanted it. This was, by the way, my first 5-figure month as well. And later I did it with one course and then another. And actually the first product I ever created, which was like this $7 masterclass, even though I was a newbie marketer, I was a beginner, I sold 10 spots with really small audience, like a couple of hundred of people. I was just starting on Facebook. I made maybe 1 or 2 sales in my life up until that point, but I managed to pre-sell this masterclass when I got over 15 people to request it, 10 people to pay for it. And that's the first product I ever created. And it was also following this model where you sell before you build. And again, every product, service I ever sold in the future that I created, obviously you can do this with affiliate products, actually follow this formula. By the way, I have the entire video on how you can do this, so you can also check it out somewhere, probably tagged, linked, whatever. But here's how it usually works. I create a couple of posts, I maybe reach out to a couple of people who I think they would be a good fit, and I present them the idea, the offer, right? And usually, because it's not still created, I have these special terms just created for these people. I open beta spots, founder spots, which are exclusive spots. Usually they're a lower price, they get some bonuses, often they get some more time with me, all the valuable things, just as a thank you for enrolling. And if I have people paying before I even create something, then I already in great part validated the idea, and I know once I go public, once I launch it, people will buy, right? So on the other hand, what I've seen a lot of people do is they go in their cave, they have this product service idea, and they spend up to months, sometimes even more, like laying it out, thinking of the strategy, creating it, spending money, spending time, spending energy. And at the end, when they have it done and they're like, this is my baby, I want to sell it, they can't sell it to anyone. And that's like the worst thing you can do. So make sure you follow this lesson number 1, sell before you build. Lesson number 3, make your offer actually valuable. Now, lesson number 2 was counterintuitive. This one is totally opposite. This one seems like, of course, like if I'm creating an offer, it's gonna be good, right? Valuable. But you'll be surprised, so many people like don't pay enough attention to this. We fall down this rabbit hole of just marketing and selling, and we don't make the actual good offer. And this can cost you a lot in the future. You can still sell a bad offer short term, but after a month, after a couple of months, after a year, word will spread, trust me, it will, and you will not be able to sell it. Not only that, not only will that maybe offer flop, but it will make selling anything else more difficult, because people already had bad experience with something, have sold them, right? So I think it's really important to make it actually good, to get people results and to get them what you promised them. It's really easy with like information industry to make big promises, but it's really difficult to keep them, right? There are many factors involved. So you need to be pretty clear, setting boundaries, setting expectations, realistic expectations, may I add, and getting people results. That course, it's not coincidental, the one of these 10, I think I did more than 10 offers that did over 10K. But the one that did the most, like over $100,000, was a course. And in that course, like that course helped create multiple 6, 6, multiple 5, 5, multiple 4-figure earners. It brought people their first leads, their first high-ticket sales, their first 5-figure months, helped them boot their job. So it was probably the most valuable course that I created, and it brought me the most money because of it. So I think the value we can bring into our offers will obviously, again, it sounds so obvious as I talk it, but you'd be surprised how many people miss this. Also, I'll give you another example. I did this workshop like way back in the day, 4 years ago. It was called Facebook Group Launching Secrets, which basically showed people how they can launch and monetize their Facebook group even if it has under 50 members. And I sold it. And I had one customer after another getting pretty crazy results. One customer launched, got over 100 something people in the group. In the first week, made high ticket sale. In the next week or two, made a few more. I think he made over $5,000-$6,000 following that strategy. And he paid $37 for the version. I want you to think about the crazy ROI there. He got, what? I suck at math. 150 or more ROI. Another client also followed the strategy, made $1,500 in the first couple of days. So he got 30x ROI, right? And here's what's interesting. Here's one of the ways you can tell, obviously, like people getting results. But then I started having people purchasing this workshop to their customers and clients, right? Just the other day, one of my clients asked me like, hey, can I get this workshop to the client I work with? Because the strategy is so important. So not only will this make you more money, but it will spread more easily. And that's one of the best ways you can make really powerful offers. Now, lesson number 4 is how you present your offer matters as much, if not more, than the offer itself. And honestly, this is my favorite lesson because I'm really big on like persuasion, influence, how do you say things, how two different people can sell the exact same offer, exact same features, everything, but one can like 100x outsell the other, right? Like one will struggle to sell one, the other one will easily sell dozens of spots. And it comes down to how do you present the offer. I think a lot of people actually don't really understand this. Oftentimes, I think, I don't know, it's our natural instinct to lean more towards the, what's it called, the features, where like I would hear coaches or affiliates like, yeah, you'll get 10 coaching calls with me. Each call is an hour. I'm going to help you. And you'll also get my messenger support for 6 months. And yeah, they don't really care, right? I mean, yes, you want to know the deliverables, but I can frame it much better. I can give less support, and I've done it. Like I would cut down the number of calls and the support, but the way I present it is much more enticing because you can name it a bit differently. It's not a coaching call, you will give it a specific name. Like just the other day, I was advising one of my clients. She was doing some free coaching calls, and I told her, but it was about mindset blocks because she helps these life coaches with some mindset blocks. And I told her, don't just say coaching call, name it with the benefit. So it became a limiting belief breaking session, right? It's a coaching call, but it sounds much better. And also don't just say, oh, we'll do 1 hour, X amount of coaching calls. It will cover X, Y, and Z that will help you X, Y, and Z, right? In adding benefits. And one of the best ways, I'll give you 2 words that you can use to make anything you sell in your copy, with your offers, even in your content, much more desirable. So once you do mention the feature, hey, we'll jump on the first coaching call right as you buy this to help you outline the strategy for your business. That's the feature. And then you add 2 words, so that, and this will naturally usually lead you to benefit. So I would mention all of that, and I would add, so that you can sign your first client in the next 2 weeks, right? Now, this coaching call already sounds much more enticing, right? Another words you can add is like without needing to X, usually the pain they have, like without needing to spam people in the DMs like 50 times a day, without needing to go viral, right? Or even if, that's another powerful one, even if you never signed any client before, right? So you overcome objections, you show them the benefits. It's really powerful. Also, another thing, how to boost up the value of your offers. One thing I really love to do is, let's say I'm delivering bonus with an offer. I would give them, I learned this from Russell Brunson, how you earned it or how you learned it. That's usually the first thing, because you state them what they will get. You will get this crazy, sexy, sound-looking bonus, and they don't have enough context, right? But then I can tell them, like, hey, people actually paid $1,000 for this course, right? And I had 50 people pay for it, but you'll get it for free, right? Now it's, oh, I'll give you a course versus framing it that way. It's much better. And I can say even this, like how you earned it or how you learned it. I can say, I spent $10,000 on different coaches, and not just that, but 2 years of trial and error to figure out this system. And I packaged it all into this sexy thing. And I'll give it to you for free once you join this, right? Now, again, common bonus turned into something sexy. All this to say, 2 people selling the same offer, same deliverables, the way you frame the offer, the bonuses, everything else, will largely determine how much of it will you sell. And final lesson, number 5, the way you sell matters a lot. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you like for the algo gods. But what I also came to realize over the years is that, again, people can have a great offer, decent way to present it, all this stuff, but the way they sell, because I think one of the biggest mistakes is trying to sell directly on social media, especially if it's high ticket, especially like they don't have the process, they don't have the strategy, they're just like mentioned, like they share some story and they're like, buy my offer, DM me. What I did, and I think probably all of my offers follow these steps, where I do a launch, whether it's price increase, whether it's launch, or I self-create something, even if it's not, I create it. For example, my anniversary of leaving my job is 18th of May. So I would create something for that date, and you can make it up. I did summer sales, I did Black Friday sales, birthday sales, right? You can make up events as you go. You have a lot on this, by the way, in Offers book by Alex Hormozy, but I did it before I even read the book. I would take some occasion and I would create offer around that occasion, and then I would run a campaign, right? I wasn't just like in the post, oh, buy my offer. Yeah, sometimes, yes. But oftentimes it's like pushing people to some sort of event, like a masterclass or a workshop or something, and it's free, usually, or low ticket, and you get people interested in that, and then you sell, because it takes some time to pre-sell people, especially when you sell higher ticket products. And I think not all, but most of these products that did at least 10K, most of those were high ticket, right? I had one that did, I think, over 45 or $50,000. That was like $200-300, but that's an exception. Most of the others were at least around $1,000 or more. So yeah, but point is, I didn't went to Facebook and just had them buy this, unless it was appropriate at the time. But most of the times, I did some kind of campaign. I would like first tease that something is coming. Then I would talk about problems my avatar has that this offer solves. I would talk about their beliefs. I would talk about the outcomes that they want. And I would try to funnel them further, whatever the sales process was, whether it was like some sort of masterclass or live training or interview, or it doesn't matter. And then this would get them usually in the Facebook group, on my email list, on the messenger, and all of these things like help with further pre-selling the offer. And then finally, and then after all of that pre-selling, by the time they see the offer, they're like, okay, I'm in, right? And I made the biggest chunks of money this way, through some campaign, not some random post. Like, yeah, sometimes posts can bring me a customer or client here and there, but most of the time it was on top of some campaign. Like the most money I remember back in the day, this was like unfathomable. I remember back in the day, this was like huge amount of money for me, because I used to work in a factory for $300 a month, and I just quit my job. And 3 months after, I was an affiliate back in 2020, and this program that I was selling was going up in price by $500, I think. And I remember I was making this push. It was going up in price in middle of August, and I started at the 1st of August. And every day I was like pushing. And I remember before it went up in price, so the last, I think, 24 hours, I made, what was it? I made a lot of sales, but basically I made, I think, $6,300 in revenue and $3,150 in pure profit, which was almost my yearly salary back at the job that I quit, right? So it was insane to me, but it all came out of that campaign, right? And then later I told you that first coaching that I launched, I also did a campaign. And then I launched my course that brought over $100,000, and I also did campaign for that. So it really matters what's your sales process and how you sell, and it will help you sell more of your offer. Now, if you enjoyed this video about creating profitable offers, you're really gonna enjoy this one over here. And I'll catch you in the next one.